Hello and welcome to another episode of From the Beginning here on Heavenward Thinking. Today we're continuing on in the book of Numbers. We're going to look at Numbers chapter 3 today. I'll read it. We'll get right into this week's teaching. This is the account of the family of Aaron and Moses at the time the Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. The names of the sons of Aaron were Nadab the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Those were the names of Aaron's sons, the anointed priests who were ordained to serve as priests. Nadab and Abihu, however, died before the Lord when they made an offering with unauthorized fire before him in the desert of Sinai. They had no sons, so Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests during the lifetime of their father Aaron. The Lord said to Moses, "Bring the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron the priest to assist him. They are to perform duties for him and for the whole community at the tent of meeting by doing the work of the tabernacle. They are to take care of all the furnishings of the tent of meeting, fulfilling the obligations of the Israelites by doing the work of the tabernacle. Give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are the Israelites who are to be given wholly to him. Appoint Aaron and his sons to serve as priests. Anyone else who approaches the sanctuary is to be put to death." The Lord also said to Moses, "I have taken the Levites from among the Israelites in place of the first male offspring of every Israelite woman. The Levites are mine, for all the firstborn are mine. When I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I set apart for myself every firstborn in Israel, whether human or animal. They are to be mine. I am the Lord." The Lord said to Moses in the desert of Sinai, "Count the Levites by their families and clans. Count every male a month old or more." So Moses counted them, as he was commanded by the word of the Lord. These were the names of the sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. These were the names of the Gershonite clans: Libni and Shimei. The Kohathite clans: Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The Merarite clans: Mali and Mushi. These were the Levite clans according to their families. To Gershon belonged the clans of the Libnites and Shimeites. These were the Gershonite clans. The number of all the males a month old or more who were counted was 7,500. The Gershonite clans were to camp on the west behind the tabernacle. The leader of the families of the Gershonites was Eliasaph, son of Lael. At the tent of meeting, the Gershonites were responsible for the care of the tabernacle and tent, its coverings, the curtain at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the curtains of the courtyard, the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and altar, and the ropes, and everything related to their use. To Kohath belonged the clans of the Amramites, Izharites, Hebronites, and Uzielites. These were the Kohathite clans. The number of all the males a month old or more was 8,600. The Kohathites were responsible for the care of the sanctuary. The Kohathite clans were to camp on the south side of the tabernacle. The leader of the families of the Kohathite clans was Eliasaphan, son of Uziel. They were responsible for the care of the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the articles of the sanctuary used in ministering, the curtain, and everything else in their use. The chief leader of the Levites was Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest. He was appointed over those who were responsible for the care of the sanctuary. To Merari belonged the clans of the Malites and the Mushites. These were the Merarite clans. The number of all the males a month old or more who were counted was 6,200. The leader of the families of the Merarite clans was Zuriel, son of Abihail. They were to camp on the north side of the tabernacle. The Merarites were appointed to take care of the frames of the tabernacle, its crossbars, posts, bases, all its equipment, and everything related to their use, as well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their bases, tent pegs, and ropes. Moses and Aaron and his sons were to camp to the east of the tabernacle, toward the sunrise, in front of the tent of meeting. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary on behalf of the Israelites. Anyone else who approached the sanctuary was to be put to death. The total number of Levites counted at the Lord's command by Moses and Aaron according to their clans, including every male a month old or more, was 22,000. The Lord said to Moses, "Count all the firstborn Israelite males who are a month old or more and make a list of their names. Take the Levites for me in place of all the firstborn of the Israelites, and the livestock of the Israelites in place of all the firstborn of the livestock of the Israelites. I am the Lord." So Moses counted all the firstborn of the Israelites as the Lord commanded him. The total number of firstborn males a month old or more listed by name was 22,273. The Lord also said to Moses, "Take the Levites in place of all the firstborn of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites in place of their livestock. The Levites are to be mine. I am the Lord. To redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceed the number of the Levites, collect 5 shekels for each one according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. Give the money for the redemption of the additional Israelites to Aaron and his sons." So Moses collected the redemption money from those who exceeded the number redeemed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the Israelites he collected silver weighing 1,365 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. Moses gave the redemption money to Aaron and his sons, as he was commanded, by the word of the Lord. Here in this chapter, we get a long list of names and divisions, and we get some responsibilities assigned to different clans of the Levites. We see that God is directing different clans to have very different functions, to care for different parts of the tabernacle. And we saw a listing of the different things that were included in that, the different components of a tabernacle, and some of the articles that were used in service to God at in the tabernacle. And those should be familiar to us because we already looked at that in the book of Leviticus and the making of the tabernacle and all the articles used in the worship of God in the tabernacle. And so it should be familiar to us as we look at this section. We see God is being very specific once again, giving specific assigned tasks to different people for his own purposes. But more than that in this chapter, more than just understanding that God's giving different people different responsibilities, we get this repeated line of the Lord taking the Levites in place of the firstborn of the Israelites. And it goes back to when he killed the firstborn of the plague upon Egypt. And it says that when he did that and he kept the Israelites from suffering the same plague that the Egyptians suffered, then he took the firstborn for himself, and now, in place of the firstborn of the Israelites, he was going to take the Levites into his service. They were going to minister at the tabernacle from generation to generation, and they were going to be in place of the firstborn of the Israelites who belonged to the Lord. And we see that then it goes into the counting of the different clans and then the counting of the firstborn of the Israelites. We see that the total number of the Levites that was counted was 22,000, whereas the total number of firstborn males a month old or more was 22,273. And so the Lord gives specific instructions to Moses, telling him that there was a process that needed to be undertaken to redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceeded the number of the Levites. And to do that, they were to collect 5 shekels for each one, and that would serve as the redemption money for the Israelites to Aaron and his sons. Again, God is showing that he is taking the Levites in service to him in place of the firstborn of the Israelites. And this is going to be something important throughout not just the rest of the book of Numbers, but throughout the Old Testament, seeing the Levites leading the people as priests, serving before the tabernacle, serving God, and being counted differently than the rest of the Israelites who are going to take part in different war campaigns in the upcoming books of the Bible that we're going to look at. And the Levites have a different purpose set apart for God. And that has been something that we have seen emphasized from chapter to chapter and now book to book. As we looked throughout Leviticus and now into Numbers, God has called the Levites to be different, to be holy, set apart for his service, set apart for his use and the worship of him. And we've seen time and time again that it is a little bit reflective of how we have been called as Christians to be set apart, to be different, to be holy, to follow after Christ, that we are supposed to be a witness to the people around us, that we're supposed to point to Jesus, just like the Levites are being tasked to point to the Lord and to serve and worship him in a different way than the rest of the Israelites. They were called to a different purpose. It should also show us that we are often, as Christians, going to be called to do things differently than the people around us, that we have been chosen, we have been called to do something different, and we should understand that means that we're going to have to look different than the people around us. We're going to have to act and do things differently than the people around us. And we can see little hints, little glimpses of that all throughout the Old Testament. Certainly we saw that here today in Numbers chapter 3. That's my challenge and encouragement for you this week, and I hope you'll join us next time as we continue on another episode of From the Beginning here on Heavenward Thinking.